Sipping on
Ding.
ding ding.
Ding ding baby. Ding ding.
Hey,
Hey, it's a different time that we're recording, so it's
it
a,
is. It
it's a
is.
different beverage time.
It is a different beverage time. You know what? I'm here for it. I am absolutely here for it. And you know what? Hold on 1 second. I'll be right back.
Oh, what's gonna happen? Let's see. Well, I'm excited. What's he gonna bring? Different beverage time of the day. What is happening? Oh, he just sat down again.
Now, I don't know what you sipping on,
Huh.
but you ain't sipping on none of this.
Hey.
Oop! Winnie, Winnie, Winnie.
Sorry.
You ain't sipping on none of this.
Well, where'd you get that?
That ain't none of your business.
Wait a minute. Wait. Pump the brakes because I feel like there's some gossip.
Hit the damn record.
Hit the damn record. See, we're recording something.
Yeah. Hold on, who you bang, bang.
Premiumbeat.com.
Bang, bang.
Hey, friend.
Hey, friend. Welcome to the Unlikely Friends podcast.
Where two friends living abroad talk about race relations, and
How we feel about it, what it means to us.
everything in between.
Yes. Gossip.
Yes. So, my dear friends, if you like what you see, you are watching us on YouTube, listening to us on Spotify, and you follow us on Facebook, please like, share, and subscribe, and hit the notification bell so that you know when we post a new video. So ding, ding, baby.
Zing,
ding,
zing.
ding. Y'all, I'm drinking coffee. This is like my third cup of coffee, so I'm going to be like today. And my cat is running around. What's the matter, baby? She's been going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. I don't know what the problem is.
Winnie's crazy today.
Why would
It
what
was
happened?
so cold. No, it was just cold. And so there's not a whole lot of outdoor playtime because it's cold. And little tiny dogs and cold weather. No, I shouldn't say that. It's little tiny dogs that are Yorkies that don't have an undercoat and cold weather.
Oh, they don't have an undercoat?
No,
Oh, I didn't know that.
they just have hair. And so they get real cold, real
Oh,
fast.
do you have sweaters for her and whatnot?
Of course I do.
Of course you do. What
She
kind,
has
David?
a
What kind of a
whole
question is
wardrobe.
that? She probably has her own little wardrobe.
She does. She has her own wardrobe. She has sweaters and scarves and boots.
She has boots. Does she let you put them on her?
She does, but she does that weird like dog walk thing where
Yeah,
they're
she
like
doesn't like them. Yeah.
kind of wackadoodle, like, oh my gosh.
Like quack.
So I heard that somebody said that I sound like Marjorie Taylor Greene.
Yeah, I was just like, oh, that's so unfortunate. That's really unfortunate.
Listen. I get it though. I do get it. Like Southern accent, similar, fair.
Yeah.
We are a nary not the same.
Nary. Nary.
Not even close. So, but I can understand similarities in Southern slang. It's okay. I get that. It's okay.
She's dumb.
She is dumb as a box of rocks.
Box of rocks. I mean, every time I hear her, she opens her mouth. I'm like, oh, you are such
Just
a
dumb.
mouth breather. God. Mouth breathing. She's like smooth brain, mouth breathing, knuckle dragging troglodyte. I can't stand her.
Oh, I don't know if you can say the T word anymore.
Troglodyte?
Yeah.
I don't care.
I think. Oh. I don't know. We got to look that up.
I ain't. She is what she is. I ain't. Bitch, come for me, okay? come for me.
Oh my gosh. So I heard you have something in the oven and it's not a bun.
I d- yes, I do have something in the oven. I have a pizza bake because
Mm,
I had this cheese in my refrigerator and it's just been in there just a little too long. It was about to walk away. So I had to like, oh, I got to do something before because I hate spending money like that. And then, all of
mm.
a sudden you spend so much money on like nice expensive cheeses and you forget all about it. Like I'm lactose intolerant. I don't know if we talked about that, but I'm lactose intolerant. So my body goes through phases where I can eat cheese for a certain amount of time, and then all of a sudden my body was like, "No, you can't do it anymore." So I was at that phase where I could eat cheese and not have a problem with it, and then
Mm.
I had gotten to that point. It's like my body was like, mm. So then it sat in the refrigerator for a while, and it was starting to look at me. So I had to do something with it, and I had whole wheat spaghetti because I don't eat white spaghetti. So I had whole wheat spaghetti. I had some tomato sauce, and I also had some ground beef. Just threw everything together and threw it in the oven.
That sounds really yummy.
Hmm.
I wanted to talk about this because I don't know, I felt like I had to catch myself a little bit this week. Um, I saw on the news about the Florida State University, the recent shooting.
I
Did
just
you?
heard about that yesterday. I didn't even know it
Yeah.
happened.
Yeah. So I was watching the news and I saw it was happening. And the the sheriff got he did an interview like as they do. Usually the sheriff comes out and says, "Hey, this is awful and this is what happened," and kind of recounts the events, right? So the sheriff, Walt McNeil, I think his name was, he's the Leon County sheriff. Um, he's an African American man,
Hmm.
and he was saying, "Hey, this is what happened," and and immediately when he said, "This is one of our deputies' sons," did you know that part?
Yeah, I heard that. Yeah.
Yeah, it was. Well, it was. It wasn't in the press release, I guess. Anyway, but they were saying this is a deputy's son, and immediately my head went, "That's that's crazy!" Like, oh my gosh, it was a son of a deputy, and then next, my brain immediately went to an an African American child did this. I don't
No.
know why. I don't know why. I think it was because the
The
sheriff.
sheriff was
I
African
think
American. Yeah.
I think I assumed that, oh, this is a community. This is I don't know why. It went directly there.
Right.
And I thought that's so strange because that never happens. I just was like, "Huh, whoa." And then I saw a photo the following day and I thought, "Oh, not at all what
And
I thought in my head."
if I was listening correctly, I understand this kid is like 20 years old, and I think he's Norwegian. He was adopted from Norway or something like that.
I just immediately assumed that it was an African American child
No, he's just as
that
white can
had
be.
done this. And I had to like take myself back too. Like when I saw the photo, I was like, now, Desma, what in the world made you think, you know, what made you think that that was, and I think by association, I thought sheriff, deputy must be in the same community. The community, therefore, must be African American community. Like, I don't know why I thought in my mind that way.
But can
And
I
I
just
had to
say,
kind of I had to kind of smack myself a little bit and be like, wait a minute.
But can I just
What?
say
Why did you assume all of that?
how ironic that the sheriff is black, the deputy sheriff is a woman, and the child is a neo-Nazi. If you like what you're hearing, like, share, and subscribe. Changing the topic just a little bit, is this whole Trump administration not, you know, adhering to Supreme Court rulings and things like that. That worries me the most. It really, really, really does. Even though this might be a, hypothetical topic, but it does concern me because, undermining the rule of law is not cute, to say the least.
Well, it's so scary.
So
Okay.
undermining the rule of law, this is what I'm worried about with the Trump administration. So I have all my points written down. So the U.S. government is based on checks and balances, as we all know. The three branches of government: judicial, legislative, and executive. Donald Trump sits in the executive branch. The Supreme Court sits in the judicial branch. So the Supreme Court interprets the Constitution, and its rulings are binding. If the executive branch refuses to comply, it essentially breaks the balance, suggesting the president sees themselves as above the law, hence king. And this is exactly what Donald Trump wants. So,
Well, and that's what those founding fathers were like. Hey, they were totally against
yeah,
that
there's
because
like,
they'd
no,
had
we don't
enough.
want this. We don't
They
want a
had
king.
enough.
Yeah.
And they were trying to figure out the easiest way, not to say that it's absolutely perfect. There are flaws, but
Yeah.
nobody wanted a king.
Nobody wanted a king. And that's the whole crux of the matter, right? So the institutional clash would be the other branches, especially Congress and the courts, might push back. That could involve congressional investigations, impeachment proceedings if the House deems it necessary, lower courts ensuring injunctions to enforce the Supreme Court's rulings, legal actions or challenges brought by the states, individuals, or organizations. But the courts have no military police force to enforce their rulings. Enforcement depends on the executive branch. Now, if we really think about it, the Supreme Court is literally toothless. They are toothless. They only follow the Supreme Court's rulings is because by merit they are the Supreme Court. But the Supreme Court cannot send anybody to jail, let's say. They can only say, this is our last ruling, comply.
Yeah.
But they're literally toothless, if you will. So, federal agencies are in a bind. If federal agencies are ordered by the Supreme Court to act in a certain way, but the president tells them to do the opposite, agencies' head and civil servants would be forced to choose between obeying the court or the president. That could trigger mass resignations, as we have seen already in the Trump administration, or firings, international rebellion within the bureaucracy, and whistleblower complaints or leaks, which we already saw in his first presidency. Public and political fallout could be ignoring the Supreme Courts would be seen as an authoritarian behavior. Depending on the issue and how visible it is in public, protests and civil unrest could erupt. Allies and opponents in Congress would have to take sides. Media and public opinions could significantly shift. Allies abroad might see us as unstable. So,
How many ticks do you want me to add to that list?
you can start ticking now. Yeah.
All the way down.
Yeah. Because I fear that Canada already sees us as unstable.
Oh, they're done.
Yeah. Canada
They're
and
like,
China, they're done. They're like,
I was going to say, China is like,
Bruh.
and count how many items I have in my home in China that are from the US. Not
Exactly.
many.
Almost probably not any.
Not
Not even an
many.
iPhone.
No.
iPhone is made in China.
Yeah, that whole situation is problematic. The tariff situation.
Look, I love it when that guy said, I don't even know his name. He says, China has been around for 5,000 years and China will be around another 5,000 years after America. I was like, oh, that was a read. That was a read.
Not wrong.
Because he's right. Yeah, he's not wrong. He's not wrong. He's absolutely right. I don't think Trump is interested in being a king. He's more interested in being an authoritarian.
A
That's what he's
dictator.
interested in. He wants to be, yeah, he wants to be like Putin. That's who he wants to be like. He wants to be like Kim Jong Un. That's who he wants to be like. He wants to be like what's the guy's name that just came up to Bukele? That's who he
You
wants to
know
be
what?
like.
When I just said dictator, I
What?
well,
What
I was
happened?
thinking about Miss Marjorie Taylor Greene and how I speak into my accent and everything, and I was like a dictator,
Ugh,
and and
a
and
dictator.
the words, the syllables, it could be two different words. It could be a dictator,
Or a dictator.
a tater, a dictator.
Dictator. I mean, this is the woman who said peach tree dish instead of a petri
Mm,
dish.
mm,
A peach
peach
tree
tree.
dish. You're an idiot. Marjorie Taylor Greene, you're an idiot. You're trash. You are the epitome of white trash.
There are a lot of other people in the back.
You smooth brained, mouth breathing, knuckle dragging troglodyte.
I don't know if we can say that.
I'm gonna leave it in.
I remember when my first experience with all of with all of this came from my friend in high school, and she had several friends come over, and she sat us down individually in the room that I like to call in a Southern house a Martha Stewart room. You know, the room that nobody ever sits in unless you have guests. The
Oh,
Martha
okay,
Stewart room.
yeah.
And so she sat
Oh,
us
okay.
individually in the Martha Stewart room and said, I've got something to tell you. I am gay. And I think my reaction was something like, oh, okay.
So,
Dude, you play like softball and you're not really into boys. I think I knew I had an idea. But you know what was crazy is before we had this conversation, we were listening to like some Indigo Girls, as you do. And me coming from like a real Christian background, like fundamentalist Christian, like the Baptist, well, not fundamentalist,
really?
but like Baptist, Southern Baptist, you know,
You mean Southern White
yeah,
Baptist?
and cult like atmosphere. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Really?
We can get into that later. But
Oh my
cult like.
God.
It wasn't cult, but cult like. And there was a
Yeah, I'm just saying because White Baptist is different than Black Baptist. So,
well, this one was anyway, I had some real
wait a minute, y'all wasn't messing with
no.
snakes, were you?
No, but we spoke in
Because
tongues.
there's one.
Oh.
Mm, okay. He's like, no, but we spoke in tongues.
But listen, so I really thought that these people were, you're going to hell. You're of the devil. It's not okay. It's against nature. It's wrong. I mean, I had all of these things in my mind that I thought, because of how I grew up, this is part of it. And I had two really good friends, one of them being her, kind of sit me down and they were like, there's really nothing wrong with it, right? Like, there's nothing wrong with people that feel differently about their same sex, right? Like, you do realize that that's okay. And I was like, no, 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 it's wrong. It's wrong. And then they had to kind of walk me through all of it. Thank God I had good friends. And I needed
Wow.
someone to be loving and accepting of me, informing these new opinions about people. Like,
Desma, you were like this close to being a homophobe.
duh.
Oh,
And
wow.
I'm so thankful. I don't think I would have, I think I would have eventually got this, but thank God I had two amazing friends that walked me through it and
Yeah.
said, there's nothing wrong with this. Why do you feel this way? Oh, because I was brought up this way. Well, but why do you feel this way? Like, I needed to have someone
Mm.
kind of gently direct me into the direction of, hey,
Yeah, yeah,
man,
yeah, 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 yeah,
love
yeah, yeah, yeah,
everybody
yeah,
as
yeah, yeah,
yourself,
yeah, yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah.
Love your neighbor as yourself, right?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Like, I just needed, I needed somebody, I
You
needed
needed that
somebody to
push.
explain it.
Well, the only thing is, especially when it comes to different, I was going to say different cults. Maybe I shouldn't say that. When it comes to, you know, certain religious sects, you know, the evangelists, they kill me because they run around with, mouthful of scripture, fire and brimstone, but a heart full of
Mm-hmm,
hate.
mm-hmm.
And it's like, how do these two even correlate together? I mean, they run around judging people. God's going
Mm-hmm.
to kill you. You should die. And I'm like, that doesn't sound very
Okay,
Christian to me.
past,
Sorry, it
past the
just
first
doesn't.
stone. Go ahead.
Yeah.
Yeah, sin.
And a lot of these people who are screaming all of this rhetoric, they're the biggest offenders. These are
Mm-hmm.
the PDF files and the adulterers
Mm-hmm.
and going on the down lows with these trans and running around with these people. Then when they get caught, and then it's like, oh, it was a moment of lapse, and God has forgiven, but yet you want to have somebody killed because,
Okay. Okay,
huh?
Mr. Sofa Warehouse with your eyeliner.
So, my friend,
It's time to go again.
time to go, time to go.
Guys, thanks for listening.
Okay, friend. Yeah, it was nice talking to you again. Night edition.
Night edition. My wine is gone. I did a
Night
good
edition.
job.
Yeah. Oh, you did a good job. You're a
A
good
good
jobber.
jobber.
Yes, I remember you telling me that. So, my dear friends, if you like what you've seen, you are watching us on YouTube, listening to us on Spotify, and you follow us on Facebook, please like, share, and subscribe, and hit the notification bell so that you know when we post a new video. So, ding, ding, baby,
Zang,
ding,
zang.
ding. Gotta add the flair.
Guys,
And I do have dings. I have dings on both
oh, ding,
wrists. Ding,
ding.
ding, ding, ding.
Have a great day,
Yes.
guys. Okay,
Okay, friend.
bye.
Bye. Deuces.
Let me fix my wig.
Fix my wig.
Welcome to the. Oh, Lord. Here we go. It's gonna be a long night.
The Supreme Court interprets the Constitution.
Do you have a ghost?
Bitch. Did you hear that?
I heard. Yeah, I did. I did.
Bitch, ain't nobody in my house but me.
You got a hump. Okay. Welcome to the Unlikely Friends podcast.
Oh, come on.
What?
You didn't see my cat. She, as soon as you were doing, she walked right in front of me.
Okay.
Get your pussy out of here.
Yeah.